श्री मोरा संपद श्री रूप मंजरी पद से मोरा संपद श्री मोर भजन पूजना श्री मोरा प्राण धन श्री मोरा आभरण श्री मोरा प्राण धन श्री मोरा आभरण श्री मोरा जीवन निर्जीवन श्री मोरा रसनिधि श्री मोरा वांछा सिद्धि श्री मोरा रसनिधि श्री मोरा वांछा सिद्धि श्री मोरा वेदे राधारामा श्री व्रत श्री तप श्री मोरा मंत्र जप श्री व्रत श्री तप श्री मोरा मंत्र जप श्री मोरा धर्म कर्म अनुकूल हबे विधि से पदे होइबे सिद्धि अनुकूल हबे विधि से पदे होइबे सिद्धि निरखिब ए दुई नयने से रूप माधुरी राशि प्राण कुवलय शशि से रूप माधुरी राशि प्राण कुवलय शशि प्रफुल्लित हवे निशिदिने तुवा आदर्श नाही गरल जरल देही तुवा आदर्श नाही गरल जरल देही चिरदिन तपित जीवन चिरदिन तपित जीवन आहा रूप करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया आहा रूप करो दया देह मोरे पद छाया नरोत्तम लइलो शरण नरोत्तम लइलो शरण जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय रूप मंजरी ठाकुर रूप मंजरी जय रूप मंजरी जय भक्ति सिद्धांत ठाकुर प्रभुपदा जय भक्ति सिद्धांत ठाकुर प्रभुपदा प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद. Hare Krishna. Can someone read the translation?
May I read, Mataji?
Yes, please.
The lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari are my treasure, my devotional service, and my object of worship. They give me life, they give my life meaning, and they are the life of my life. They are the perfection of rest, and they are perfection worthy of attainment. They are the very law of Vedic scriptures for me. They are the meaning of all my fast and penances and my silent uttering of my mantras. They are the basis of religions and activities. By the purifying process of favorable devotional service, one will attain perfection and with these two eyes be able to see. His transcendental form is shining like moonlight in my heart, and my heart therefore shines and reciprocates. In other words, the ordinary moon lights up the night and its shine illuminates other objects, but the moon of the effulgence of the form of Shri Rupa Manjari shines into the heart and makes the heart also shine back to the spiritual sky. This moon shines not only in the night time, but day and night. Your absence from my vision is like a dose of strong poison, and I will suffer till the end of my life. Narottam Das Thakur says, please give me your mercy and the shade of your lotus feet. Hare
Thank
Krishna Mata.
you. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. So we see here how in the parampara, like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is none other than Nayana Mani Manjari, who was always serving Sri Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world. So definitely this was his bhajan, this was his pujan, this was his entire life he was surrendering to Rupa Manjari, that is Rupa Goswami, and this is a very beautiful song which he really loved very dearly. So on that note, we will begin our presentation from where we left off yesterday. So yesterday we spoke about the initiation of His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur by Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj had just come from Vrindavan, and he was regularly visiting Swanand Sukhad Kunj, which was the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Godrum Dweep, which is just very close to across the Ganga, or Saraswati rather, you can call Saraswati, across the Saraswati, which is a tributary of Ganga, which is across the river is the Godrum Dweep. And in that Godrum Dweep um, was the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Swananda Sukhad Kunj. So here he would frequently visit, and he would take association of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And this great personality, Bhajananandi, Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, was approached by our Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur for initiation. And yesterday we saw how gloriously he got initiation, the only disciple of Srila Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj. So he was, one day, I can just recall one incident where it is mentioned in the book that he was traveling with uh, one of his devotees. He was traveling on a boat across the river. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was chanting, and then this devotee, he suddenly he told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, remarked, he said, how is it that your Guru Maharaj is a Bhajananandi and you are a Goshtyanandi? You go around preaching everywhere, whereas your Guru Maharaj is not doing any preaching, he's just sitting and he's chanting. So, how is this great difference? So then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, there is no difference. He was explaining to him with an example of the boat they were traveling in. So he's saying, do you hear all this sounds, clink, clank, all these sounds which are coming from this boat? Because these are all the sounds which are making the boat run, and these sounds are happening because of the battery which is operating all this, the entire boat. So the battery is not making any sound, and the battery is very quiet, and battery is in one corner. Nobody sees the battery. The others, we can only see the machinery going around, the boat is moving, but we cannot see what is actually propelling the boat. And that is what is my Guru Maharaj. He is the main source of my inspiration. He is sitting there and he is chanting, and he is giving the entire inspiration to me so that I can go around and preach. So whatever I am doing is only because of him. So he gave the entire credit of his preaching to his Guru Maharaj. So there are so many wonderful pastimes like that, about how uh, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur interacted with his Guru Maharaj. If there is some time, we can later on look into only that aspect. because we can go on talking and there's no end to this. So today we will continue from where we left off. After the initiation, that was he was almost like 27 years old at that time. He started another monthly journal called Jyotirvid. So now he was totally into astrology. So he was a great astrologer. He was defeating everyone, and he was becoming a more and more famous. And we talked about Chatushpati yesterday, how he started the Chatushpati, which was even better than the best one in Banaras, which was very, very world acclaimed. So it was better than that. Everybody used to say like that. So he was so popular. He was very, very popular. And at this time, one day, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, both traveled to Jagannath Puri. And what they decided that indefinitely they will stay in Jagannath Puri and they will preach. And they were very close because of the surrounding, and he was born there. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was born in Jagannath Puri. So he was very close to this sthan, to this dham. And when he went there, he was very much liking the place over there. Then he told his father, I want to stay here. I want to do bhajan here. Then his father agreed, and he started worshipping in a temple called Giridhari Asan. So now there are seven asanas in Jagannath Puri, as called as mathas, or these places, mutts, where they are seven main mutts of the Gaudiyas, and out of them, this is one of them, uh, that is Giridhari Asana. And he started worshipping and preaching there. And he was also directed and publication of, he was also in publishing and directing what, Navadvip Panjika. Now this Shri Navadvip Panjika is nothing but actually like a panchangam, we can say. In South India we can call it as panchangam. And this Navadvip Panjika was the desire of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj wanted this very much. He said, these panchangams are there for the smarta brahmanas everywhere, but we don't have any panchangam for our devotees. So we need one calendar, Vaishnava calendar. And this was started by uh, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in 1901. That is, he was around 27 years old at that time. So this Giridhari Asana in Jagannath Puri was a very special place, because these deities which you see in the altar right now, these deities were worshipped by Jagadananda Pandit. Who is Jagadananda Pandit? He was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He's an associate of Lord Chaitanya. Satyabhama Devi actually it came down as Jagadananda Pandit. So his worshipable deities were that which were worshipped by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then he told his father that he wants to stay here and do a lot of research, and he wanted to preach here. So his father agreed, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur built one small little bhajan kutir called Bhakti Kutir, which is next to this place, next to this temple of Giridhari Asan. And he called it his place of bhajan. Now, if you go to Jagannath Puri, that place is actually um, converted into ISKCON temple. Now they have an ISKCON temple at this place called Bhakti Kuti, which is Bhakti Vidwan Thakur's place of bhajan, his bhajan kuti actually. So, and then what happened is, from that place, from Giridhari Asana, from that place, they started to lecture, that is, both father and son. Regularly, they were lecturing on Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shat Sandarbhas, Srimad Bhagavatam, Govinda Bhashya, and the Upanishads. and like that. And there was one person called Manindra Chandra Nandi Bahadur. So we can call him Raja Bahadur or Raja Nandi. Okay, so this King Nandi, he was that time Maharaja of Kashim Bazar. Now this Kashim Bazar is around 3 4 hours from Mayapur. It is like you can say a state where at that time it's called Murshidabad at that area. And that place Kashim Bazar was like a, he was like a zamindar, so you can call Maharaja also, they called him Maharaja because he had that kind of. Later on I will show you his palace. So this this Maharaja of Kashim Bazar, his wife had passed away, and he was putting one tent there next to this place where I told you, Giridhari Asana, and he near Puri, and he was mourning for his wife. But he was, every day he would attend these lectures of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And by regularly attending, all his sorrow and all went away. And he was very much attached to these two great personalities. And he went back in this way, keeping very good memories of them. So we'll, in future we will see there's a lot more to come about this person interacting with Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then there was one more person, Charan Das. Now, this was his popular name called Charan Das, but his actual name was Radha Raman Charan Das Babaji. So, he was a very educated person actually, and he renounced the world and he wanted to follow Vaishnav Dharma only. So he completely became like a put on Vaishnava attire, and then he wanted to remain like a Vaishnava. He doesn't want to go back to his worldly life. But the problem was he was like a Sahajya or something like Upper Sampradaya he started. Although he was so educated. And instead of the Mahamantra, he started this Japa Nitai Go Radhe Sham Hare Krishna Hare Ram. So he started teaching people this mantra. Instead of Mahamantra, you chant this mantra. So you know there are so many pseudo devotees who think themselves they are devotees. Maybe they're really convinced that they are devotees. But the problem with them is they don't follow the sampradaya acharyas. They don't follow the proper whatever is being taught from our predecessor acharyas. Instead, they come up with their own mental concoction. So this concocted mantra was completely opposed by our Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, thoroughly opposed. Then this was, of course, in the beginning stages. So uh, he, although he was opposing this Charan Das Babaji, he used to come every day to listen to both places, Giridhari Asan as well as Bhakti Kutir, to listen to both father and son's discourses, and he really liked, and he would interact, and sometimes even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would go to his place, and this way they had. But then, because of this new chanting of Japa Nitai Gaur Radhe Sham Hare Krishna Hare Ram, this mantra, concocted mantra, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did not keep any connection with him, although he would come and sit for his classes. Later on, we will see much more about this person. Then there was another person called Bapudev Shastri. If you remember, I told you about yesterday about how this Bapudev Shastri had written what he had written. He had also translated the Surya Siddhanta. Surya Siddhanta was translated by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, right? So later on, it was published in 1922. So he started it when he was of just 14 years old. So Surya Siddhanta was also translated by this Bapudev Shastri. He was an old man. In 1860 already he had published this Surya Siddhanta in Bengali, and he was a very old man, very very old man. But he was a vice chancellor. He was an old man, and he was a very erudite Sanskrit scholar. So then, what happened was, he sent his student to debate with our Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Now you know, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very, very powerful, powerful speaker, powerful debater. He could defeat almost everyone he could defeat very easily. So in this way, when the student came and he started putting up some arguments which were not in line with the teachings of our acharyas, immediately he debated and he defeated. So now this one, what happened is, the astrology is very, very complicated matter. A small mistake also can change the whole issue. So it is mentioned that after every 100 years, there should be some change, a particular change done to a particular astronomical calculation. Then it will set up this calendar properly. So this way, calculations have to be very precise. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that for many, many years, this has not been done. So because of that, the calculations are going haywire. So which then he defeated this person, and so strongly he defeated all the arguments which were put by this student of Bapudev Shastri were totally defeated. Bapudev Shastri was also present at that meeting, and he was very, very old person. But it seems, it is mentioned that he, at that meeting, he was so devastated because all his whatever he has done till now, everything was destroyed, and he was so devastated that he even passed urine and stool even in that assembly in front of everyone. So it was so strong. His arguments of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur were so strong that he was undefeatable, and he was totally very, very, very strong. So he was fearsome, as he called himself. I am a fearsome debater. So now you know why he was named the Lion Guru. So then, after this debate was over, this vice chancellor of Calcutta University, his name was Ashutosh Mukhopadhyay. He said that this chair of astronomy was reserved for Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. How old was he? Only 27, 29, at the most 29 years old. And at that age, something which was unthinkable honor for someone so young. He was only 29 years old. And this chair of astronomy, that means the highest position of astronomy, was given to, it was reserved for him. It was mentioned like that. So we go on to the next episode. When he was next year, when he was 30 years old, we'll go to that, we say in Padav. So we'll go there. So keeping in mind that he would, I will go to the next scene. So he was 30 years old, and he was now, he knew that in future I will defeat, I will have to fight against Mayavad. Mayavad was so prominent in those days. So he wanted to fight with Mayavad in the future. So what he did extensive research in the nearby. There was a Govardhan Mutt nearby this place where he was living in Puri, and it was established by Shripad Shankaracharya. So he went there and he did a lot of research. Then he started traveling. Then he started to collect materials for a Vaishnava encyclopedia. And what is that Vaishnava encyclopedia? It was called as Vaishnava Manjusha. So it was his dream. It was his dream project. And what was it supposed to contain? So many things. It's unimaginable. So I will just briefly tell a little bit of what was supposed to be there in that Vaishnava Manjusha, which was a dream project of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said that if I cannot complete and finish this Vaishnava Manjusha in this lifetime, I will come again, I will take birth again, and I will do this. And Unfortunately, it was not completed during his lifetime. But we will see what exactly he wanted in this Vaishnava Manjusha. Of course, Vaishnava Manjusha was the something which was an idea of Bhaktivinoda Thakur only, which came down to him, and he was then doing this research for this. So, some, like for example, I will tell you one by one what was going to be there in this Vaishnava Manjusha. So, some obscure words were found in Vaishnava texts like Seva, Leela. So all these are not taken into context when you read, or when ordinary man reads. So he thinks that doing mundane Seva to any person, like, I gave somebody, some poor man, some food, not prasad, food. I fed some poor children, I gave some clothes to somebody. This is all seva. So this is not seva. So the actual Vaishnava texts, what seva means, seva is only seva to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, Leela. So some person thinks that, oh, this is my Leela. I did some activity and that is my Leela. So that is not my Leela. That is Leela, seva, all these words only to be connected with the Supreme Lord. So like that, there are several such words. There's You can go on, and there are several words like that. Then there were going to be brief biographies of prominent devotees, just like we are doing Bhakta Maal series. So it's like that, but brief biographies. So that Vaishnav Manjusha will contain this also. Then it will also contain overviews of some important devotional writings. So some people have written devotional works, um, like Ramcharitmanas or something like that. I'm just saying, just for an example, that could not be this, but whatever important devotional writings, and overview of those devotional writings would be there included in this Vaishnava Manjusha. So whichever Vaishnava great devotee, he has written something. So that overview of that will be there. Then genealogical tables of Vaishnavas, celebrated Vaishnavas, their lineages. So from how they came, like we told how Bhaktivinoda Thakur was 175th in line from Chitragupta. So like that, something like that. Some genealogical tables of great Vaishnavas also will be there. Then description of all the Vaishnava holy places. Come on, this is like unlimited. So many holy places, Vaishnava holy places. So the whole description will be there. Then there will be history and teachings of different Vaishnava sects. Now this is very important, like different Vaishnava sects. Like we are going to the third point here, in comparative study of Nimbarakam, Ramanuja, Madhva Sampradayas, like the different Sampradayas. So all that also, history also will be there and teachings also will be there. Then inventories of, like, there are so many Vaishnava libraries all over the world. No, all over the world, all over India. So there are so many major libraries. So in that libraries, what are the books, what are the manuscripts available, all the inventories will be there, will be mentioned in this Vaishnava Manjusha. Then there will be description of what are the rituals to be performed in temples, what is it, how is the temple architecture, and all those things, and so much more. So we can go on talking. So this was all he wanted to put it in this massive work, Vaishnava Manjusha. Then he also wanted to do a comparative study, which he did, of Nimbaraka, Ramanuja, and Madhva Sampradayas, different Sampradayas. So he went to South India, because most of our acharyas, they have come from South India. So he traveled uh, all over South India and collected so many manuscripts. So that is next year. He resigned from the post. Which post? Now we have forgotten which post. So you remember he was assigned a post in the Tripura king's palace. He was assigned a post to teach his children Sanskrit and Bengali, and also he was also the secretariat was there of the Tripura king's secretariat in Calcutta, and he was going to head that. So he left that position because he was so disgusted with all this government offices problems, so much of could not be rectified. He was so disgusted. So you know what happens in the government offices. So he resigned from his post, and he accepted full pension for 3 years, because they said, okay, even if you resign, because he worked there for 10 years, so they know his how much power he has and how much he can do. So he has already he did a lot of service in those 10 years, and then for that they gave him pension, full pension. But although he only worked for 10 years, but he did a job of millions of years, so they gave him pension, full pension. But he took it only for 3 years, and then he renounced that also. He said, I don't want. Then after that, he went on a South India tour. Why he went on South India tour? Firstly, he went to because he wanted to visit Lord Chaitanya's places where Lord Chaitanya had visited, and then he also collected the rare books and manuscripts which have the comprehensive knowledge. And he collected so many manuscripts, so many books from all over South India, that even one whole lifetime is impossible. A person cannot even imagine that you can collect so much in one whole lifetime. That he collected within 3 months, I think. 3 months he went. And uh, some places in South India also he put with the footprints of Lord Chaitanya wherever Lord Chaitanya visited. he, hmm? Yeah, the padukas of Lord Chaitanya, wherever he visited, the footprints of Lord Chaitanya, he put it to worship in like a small memorial he made, like that, everywhere wherever Lord Chaitanya visited. So, like for example, we went to one place in Hyderabad. Which is that place? Simhachalam. Yes, Simhachalam. We went to Simhachalam where Lord Chaitanya had visited. So there we saw the small memorial with the lotus footprints of Lord Chaitanya there being worshipped. So like that, he went to South India. He did like that. He went to every place where Lord Chaitanya visited and made a memorial there. So now he came back. After he returned uh, to Puri again, by this time, this Charan Das Babaji, he had acquired many, many disciples, thousands of disciples. And he was opposed by Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, on his invented mantra. So then after that, he stopped coming for his classes. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did not let go his disciples. His disciples means the Charan Das Babaji's disciples. He would catch them on the roads, everywhere, the pedestrians also will catch them and say, what your guru is teaching you is wrong. He's Sappa Sampradaya. And his disciples, they were totally sold out to their gurus, and they were so they were so scared of him, and they even insulted him. Sometimes they pushed him away, and then finally they even threatened him with death. So this is when Bhakti Vinod Thakur said, "This is going too far. I think this is we cannot," because the entire crowd was going against Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because of this man. So then his father told him, you must go now to Mayapur and look after Yoga Peeth. Yoga Peeth was being neglected. For so many years, it was being neglected. So he was saying, who will look after? You have to look after this place, Mayapur. You go there and you do it. And he convinced him. He told him, if you don't look after, then who will look after it? No, there's no one else. So you have to go. And for the sake of preaching, in future, this is what you have to do. So he went he went to Mayapur, and he vowed to chant at least 3 lakh holy names. And how much is that? That we know, who was chanting this 3 lakhs holy names? Haridas Thakur. So he wanted to chant like that until he chanted 1 billion names. 1 billion names. That means Shatakoti Nam. If you calculate, it comes to around uh, little less than 10 years. So it took him 9 years and 4 months to complete this. And he was not only doing that, he was also preaching during this time. When he was doing this Nam Bhajan, can you imagine? 1 billion, 3 lakh holy names, that means 192 rounds a day, plus preaching. Preaching, and then he was also very austere. When he went to Mayapur, there was nothing that time. There was like a jungle, there was nothing there. He built one small little hut, you know, just a hut with thatched roof. And when it was very cold, he would just close all the everywhere. He would just close it with the thatch, and he would sit inside and chant. And when it would rain, he would just hold an umbrella and he would continue chanting, because with a thatched roof, rain will come inside, isn't it? He never bothered. He just held an umbrella and he would chant day and night. And what was his austerity? Look at his austerity. He would cook rice only once a day. Once a day he will eat. And he will sleep only on the floor, on the earth, on the earthen floor, that is ground. And then when he ate only once a day, definitely there will be hunger coming in, and there will be nausea also, because of almost like virtually fasting whole day. And so when this would come, he will take some black pepper and put it in his mouth so that he will not vomit. So this way he would do austerity. He would not even wear any footwear. He would just walk without footwear, and although his feet was bleeding, but he will not wear any footwear. So this severe austerities he was doing. Then when he was 32 years old, he was lecturing in Kulia. Now you know where is Kulia. Kulia is just now it's called as Navadvip, which is across Ganga from Mayapur. So this side is Kulia or Navadvip, and this side is across Saraswati for Mayapur is Godrumdvip. So we know. So in Kulia, he was lecturing. He was giving a lecture about the 3 grades of devotees: Uttamadikari, Madhyamadikari, and Kanishtadikari. So then he declared that his Gurudev, that is Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, was an Uttamadikari, and he proved it. He declared it, and then finally he noticed that his Guru Maharaj was sitting among the listeners. So immediately he left. He got up and left. That is Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He just got up and left. But he was then from Mayapur, he would send fruits and vegetables to Kulia across and for to his Guru Maharaj. And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was very happy, very much appreciated. My Prabhu has sent, he will say. He will always call him my Prabhu. My Prabhu has sent and he would offer it and he would partake. So he was living like um, a sadhu, like a hermit, actually, like a rishi, you can say. And but his fame was spreading, and so many great pandits and very learned scholars, they all came from Vrindavan, even from Puri, and all they came to seek his philosophical knowledge. They wanted to learn from him. His knowledge was so vast. So some even got so mesmerized by him that they stayed back as his servants. They became his disciples, they stayed back as his servants. That we will serve you this way. So in this way, in 1909, that is when he was around 35 years old, he built a small brick cottage, brick cottage now this time, at because he was now, so many people were coming and becoming devotees with him, joining him in his mission. So he also thought, okay, we should build something for everyone to stay. So I was building a small brick cottage at Chandrasekhar Bhavan. Now it's called Mashir Badi. If you go to Mayapur, it is after Dvaita Bhavan, and you have to walk a little bit more, and then you will get the Sri Chaitanya Mat or Chandrasekhar Bhavan or Mashir Badi, as it is popularly known. Why it's called Mashir Badi? Because it was Lord Chaitanya's Mashi, that is auntie, her house actually. So Lord Chaitanya's auntie's name was Sarvajaya. She was the sister of Shachimata, Lord Chaitanya's mother. So it was her house and her husband Chandrasekhar Acharya. So that is the house which is called as Mashir Badi, which he stayed in that area, and he identified it. He said this is the place where Lord Chaitanya did all kinds of dramas. He dressed up and as Rukmini, as Radharani, as Lakshmi Devi, and he did all kinds of dramas there. And this place also he called it as Vrajapattana, or non-different from Vrindavan or Vrajadham, this place. And he built one small kund, Radha Kund, Sham Kund, and he also had a Govardhan constructed there, a small Govardhan constructed there. And then he continued his bhajan here. So that Nam Jap, which he was doing, he was continuing it here. So when we go there now, we will see that his place of bhajan, his bhajan kutir is there, and then we will see the plate where he ate for his chaturmasya is also kept there. Then certain things of his worship are kept there to be worshipped, and for display also we can see there. And then when he was like around 37 years old, then there was a big event which took place. This place is called Balighai. Uh, it is somewhere in near Mayapur, that side, and it was a 3 day public event. So they had invited Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur wanted to go there. He wanted to go and he wanted to defeat all these Smarta Brahmanas and this Jat Gosais, and because they were always talking about we have to be born Brahmana, born Brahmana. If you're not a born Brahmana, you cannot be a Vaishnava, you cannot worship Shaligram Shila. So they had this contention. So they wanted to defeat. So what are the contentions? The contentions were that unless a person is born in a Brahmin family, unless he in a Vaishnava also is disqualified, even if he is a Vaishnava, but if he is not born in a Brahmin family, he is disqualified from worshipping Shaligram Shila, and he cannot give initiations. And he was actually they were directly targeting Narottam Das Thakur and Shamananda Pandit because they were not born in Brahmin families and they were giving initiations. So directly they were targeting. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they said that, can you imagine? They said Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Raghunath Das Goswami a Govardhan Shila. Why? Because he was not a born Brahmana. So he was not eligible to worship Shaligram Shila. So Lord Chaitanya gave him a Govardhan Shila. Because Govardhan Shila, they said the worship has no Shastriya basis, is just sentimental. So only and then they also said that only those instructions of Hari Bhakti Vilas, we all know what is Hari Bhakti Vilas. They are the rules and regulations followed, which have to be followed. So this in devotional service. So Hari Bhakti Vilas, only those instructions or injunctions should be followed which don't contradict with traditional smritis. If it contradicts with traditional smritis, then we should not follow that, even though it is there in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. So these were the points which they had come up with, these Smarta Pandits and the Jatagosai. So he went, but what happened suddenly? Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a very severe attack of rheumatism. He couldn't even stand up. He couldn't even stand up. Then what is this question of giving a talk? So he was so distraught. He was saying, "Is there no one who can go and defeat these people?" So hearing his father's words, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wrote an something like an essay, and in that he how he is going to refute these points. He wrote it down and he showed it to his father. So even though Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in such pain, but after reading that, he just sat up and he was very happy. He blessed him. He said, "You can do it." So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he went in place of his father and emphatically defeated all this anti-devotional manifesto which they had put up. And then it was just a 2 hour conclusive talk. It was a 2 hour. After everything, everybody spoke. First, he spoke a little bit for the Brahmanas, saying that, oh, the Brahmanas are actually the greatest and they are the ones who. And the Brahmanas are feeling very happy that he was speaking on their side. But later on, immediately the tone changed. And he started saying how the Vaishnavas are much higher than the Brahmanas. So at the end, after the Brahmanas also spoke, the Jati Goswais all spoke. But when the last 2 hours, thousands of people had gathered. They all knew that there's going to be a showdown here. There's so many people knew that there's going to be a fight here. There's going to be something here. So we want to see this. We want to be a witness to what is going to happen here. Some climax is going to happen. So they all came. Thousands of people came. Thousands of people came, and they also wanted to know that actually what is the truth, whether the Brahmanas are the topmost or Vaishnavas are the topmost, or are the Vaishnavas to be born Brahmanas, or what is the whole issue. So the final 2 hours was his conclusive talk, and as we said, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was so powerful. When he talked, he was so powerful, and it was really the climax was when he was unanimously affirmed as the champion of the meeting. So he was the champion of the meeting. So everybody, you could see the Jati Goswais and all slowly they were slinking away. They were just going away because the entire crowd, as you know, when we see in the cricket matches and how the crowd becomes so crazy, mad. So they were really becoming crazy after the talk of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then the police were there because they knew that something is going to happen here. So there were so many police there. So when they saw this whole crowd like coming to bow down to him, to touch him, or how it is, the frenzy, and then the police just grabbed Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's feet and they forcibly washed his feet and in front of the public, and then they put lots of pots of water, and then he distributed to the public. Because he said otherwise the public cannot be contained. They cannot be contained. So the same year again, he silenced the same opposition. Same people again came back, and this time what they claimed? They claimed that Lord Chaitanya was not mentioned in the Shastras. This was a wrong thing to say to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He completely silenced them. So this again, these two things, one is whether Brahmana or a Vaishnava. So you see this picture here, Brahmana and Vaishnava. This is the topic essay which is there in this book, whether it's Brahmana or a Vaishnava is who is higher. And then also about how Lord Chaitanya is mentioned in the Shastras. So these two things were completely satisfied. All the public knew now what is what. There is no, earlier there was so much of brimming the confusions in everyone's mind, what is correct, what is not correct. But this was totally, completely, everybody was satisfied, and it's concluded that Vaishnavas is unanimously concluded. Vaishnavas were the highest, as well as Lord Chaitanya is mentioned in the Shastras. So, shall we take a 5 minutes break now? We'll come back again.
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Welcome back, everyone. So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We begin from when he was around 38 years old, that is in 1912. So, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, at that time, he was very, very popular. Although he was a Bhajananandi, he was just doing bhajan, Naam bhajan the whole day. But those days, people were attracted to such sadhus. And hundreds of people used to come and try to become his servant, try to become his disciples, and like that. And this he was very popular, very well known for his austerities, for his vairagya, for his renunciation. And you remember this person, this Jamindar we spoke about from Kashim Bazar, who had come to Jagannath Puri to mourn about his wife's passing on. So this person, he approached Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj and asked him to come for a Sammilani, or it used to be called as Kashim Bazar Sammilani. Now you see this in the photo, in the picture, you see this huge mansion, the palace. This was his palace of Kashim Bazar Sammilan. So, in this palace, he had invited. And Gaurkishadas Babaji Maharaj said, I never leave this dham and go anywhere, not even a step out. And neither am I so educated to join your Sammilani where all these Brahmanas will be talking so many things. I am not educated and I am not going to join you. But my disciple, he is very educated. You can take him. So, on the behalf of his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur attended the Kashim Bazar Sammilani because his spiritual master asked him to go there. So, when he went to this place, he saw that all these caste Goswamis, Jati Goswamis, they were all there. That means you have to be born a Brahmana. So these Goswamis were all there, and they had this Maharaj of Kashim Bazar. They had him under their power. So he was under their awe, and they refused to let, because they knew the prowess of Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They knew that he once he starts speaking, nobody can defeat him, and his word is taken like everyone would just accept whatever he said. So, of the 4 days that he was allowed to speak, he was only allowed to speak once, and that too only for 5 minutes. And even before the 5 minutes were coming to an end, he was forced to stop. Stop, 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 finish, your 5 minutes are over, your 5 minutes are over. So, even then, he had already defeated their theories and everything in those 5 minutes. Also, he defeated them nicely. But like this, he was not allowed to speak at all. And he was there for 4 days. And this Maharaja, he would send him nice eatables to his room. But on all the 4 days, he did not eat anything. He did not touch anything. Did not want to take anything from the Maharajas. Why? Because he was not allowed to speak. And he said, what is the use? I have come here to speak about the absolute truth. You are not allowing me to speak. Why should I eat your food? But in private meetings, because he was so popular, the people who are like not the Jati Goswamis, but the others who had assembled there, the other Vaishnavas from different places had come there, they would come to his quarters and they would privately have some talks. And in this way, all the rudimentary theories, practices, and all which were going on in name of dharma, name of this, he was defeating in this private meetings. Then after 4 days, he couldn't take it anymore because they were not allowing him to speak. They were not. He had to listen to all this. So, to Dia speaking, so what he did, he just left without telling the Maharaj about his name was Maharaj Nandi. We can call him King Nandi. So he left. He left the place. The Maharaja came running behind him in the car in the station, and he told him, "Why didn't I never knew that you didn't eat for 4 days? Why didn't you accept anything?" So he said, "You don't allow me to speak, and I will not eat your food." So saying like this, he boarded the train, and he reached around 2 o'clock in the morning. In At that time was Dubulia. Dubulia was the nearest station. From there, from Dubulia, he walked all the way to Mayapur, to Rajapatana. And after reaching there, he that was early morning, and he then cooked, and then he broke his 4 days fast. So we see he's a man of principles. So then also in later he was appointed as a head of jury for a case of dacoits in Krishnanagar. So similar, because he was a son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur maybe, and they thought that okay, father is also a magistrate, so he also could do much uh, good for us, because if he is the head of the jury, and this way he did many things for the public, as well as he conducted a preaching tour of West Bengal. So the entire West Bengal in that year when he was 1938, he he did a preaching tour of West Bengal. He traveled everywhere. Then another year later, when he was 39, he established the Bhagavat Yantra. What is that? It's a printing press. And where did he do that? It was a prestigious place in Calcutta. This place was so big. After searching, he got this place for 36 rupees a month, which was very, very high in those days. And this place was huge. It had swimming pools and like fountains and parks and gardens inside the area. And it was a huge place. But they gave it for such a small amount. So he was very surprised. That small amount is not small amount, but in those days, because the place was so big and very prestigious, so I think they thought it was ghostly haunted or something like that. So he got it, but he that year he paid that amount and he remained there at Kalighat. This was a place near Kalighat, and he every day had kirtans, harikatha, and on April 13th, approval was granted for this press, because for to establish a press also you need a lot of approvals. So then approval was granted. The press was established, called Bhagavat Yantra, and within few months he published a part of Chaitanya Charitamrita, accompanied by Amrit Prava Bhashya, by his father's Amrit Prava Bhashya, that is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Amrit Pravaha Bhashya, and his own Anubhashya. And then he also printed the Bhagavad Gita with the Sarartha Varshini Tika by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. That was in Sanskrit. And also he did another Rasik Ranjana. It's actually translation and commentary by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Gaur Krishnodaya. It's a poem in Sanskrit by an Odia poet, Sri Govinda Das, which describes the pastimes of Gauranga. So all this within a few months, because that yantra, the Bhagavad Yantra, that is the printing press, was in that prestigious place, but only for 1 year. Because after that he couldn't pay the rent. 36 rupees is very high at that time. So when he was 40 years old, the lease expired, and then the press had to be moved to Rajapatana, that is Mayapur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then this was the very crucial time for him, because that year Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur left this world from Bhakti Bhavan. We saw the Bhakti Bhavan yesterday. It's never forgettable. It's unforgettable for the Vaishnavas. That place is, so many things happened in that place. Bhaktivinoda Thakur established a printing press there. Also, he taught his son how to do printing, how to do edit, proofread, all these things, and how to typeset. All that he taught him. He also had a library there, Vaishnava library, in that place. So it's a very unforgettable place where he left this world from that place. Also, that is Bhakti Vinod Thakur, as well as his wife. After 6 years of his passing on, his wife also left from that very house. So Bhakti Bhavan is very, very important place for Vaishnavas. So the lease had expired, so they had to move it to again to Rajapatana, back to Mayapur. Then, when his father left, he actually, before his father left, he went to Calcutta. That is Bhakti Bhavan. He went to Calcutta, and his father told him, "Take me away, take me, bring me to Godrum. I don't want to leave from this place. Bring me to Godrum." So he arranged everything for his father to take his father, but everybody around surrounding, no, 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 don't take him. He will not live even this journey, and don't take him now. And in this way, they didn't allow him to take his father. And then when he left, Bhaktivinoda Thakur came to the station. Then he was brought to the station because he wanted to go to Mayapur, to his place. But his again all the relatives and all dissuaded him and told him that you cannot make the journey. You please don't embark on this journey. And then he was brought back to uh, his place, and he came back to. So when his father left this world, he immediately couldn't go there at that moment because there was a flood, and he couldn't get a boat to go across, and he couldn't go to Calcutta. It was all flooded, and by the time he reached, they had already cremated the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's divine form, which was not supposed to be done because the great Vaishnavas, they are put into samadhi. But when he reached there, it was already too late. So later on, he established a Pushpa Samadhi for his father, collected the flowers from his father's divine form, and he placed it in at Swanand Sukhad Kunj, which he later on um, built at Godrum Dweep. Pushpa Samadhi for his father. So when he was 41 years old, it's now next year, so there's on 4th of September, there was a public meeting he held in honor of his father's appearance day, and it was a very prestigious Bangiya Sahitya Parishad Hall. So many distinguished speakers they came. They glorified the works of Bhaktivinoda Thakur like that. And on the 16th of November, that is in 1915, so 1914, Bhaktivinoda Thakur left, and 1915, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he disappeared from this world. So uh, there was intense competition now. Who will claim his divine body? Why? Because the caste Goswamis, they wanted to build a samadhi on their grounds and collect donations. So the police inspector, they knew that something is going to happen here. So they were the police inspector and everyone arrived there expecting some trouble. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then he forbade anyone, he said, who had an illicit connection with a woman in the last 3 days also. If you touch my spiritual master's body, you will be ruined. So his power, his prowess, and everybody was like scared, you know. And when he said that, not a single caste Goswami came forward. He slowly left the place. Then he personally he dug the ground and he placed his guru in the samadhi. And after doing this, he was totally devastated because within 1 year, his father and his guru has left him. So for some time, he went into seclusion. And then, when he was alone, he received a vision where the Panchatattvas and the Goswamis and the Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj all came, and they told him that we are always with you. You don't worry. You should start preaching. Don't sit down like this. And you must distribute Gauravani. And you must serve Gauranam. And you must serve the Gauradham. And you must do Gaurakam. So this was the message they gave him. That don't simply mourn like this. You go and do your service for which you have taken birth. Go and distribute Gauravani. Distribute the glories of Gauranga. So when he was so for some time, like couple of years, he was in seclusion. Then after which he came out, and everybody was so happy that he will come out because his all his disciples, like servants, he had not yet taken disciples, but his servants and all were there, and they were waiting for him to come. His mentor was their mentor was in seclusion. Then on 27th March of 1918, he was 44 years of age. At that time, he took sannyas in front of a picture of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj because he saw that there is nobody else who is qualified to give him sannyas. So he took sannyas by sitting in front of the picture of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj and meditation. He went into meditation, deep meditation, and thus he became Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki jai. So on the same day, he established Chaitanya Mutt also. So now that Rajapatana, which was called Chaitanya Mutt, he established that, and service to Shri Radha Gandharvika Giridhari. So now if you go also to Mashirbadi or Chaitanya Mutt or uh, this place, you will see the deities of Shri Gandharvika Giridhari and Mahaprabhu. And before whom he had this Mahaprabhu deity, in front of him he chanted this 1 billion names of this Japa Yajna he had done. So that was the deity. So you can go, you can take darshan. So when he started this, 5 dedicated devotees joined him, and then they began the wholesale war against on Maya. So this is the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, and you see in front that is the Samadhi Mandir, which was built by Pushpa Samadhi Mandir. And these are the 2 rooms occupied by Bhaktivinoda Thakur at that time in his house and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So these are the devotees who joined him. These are the prominent names: Sri Kunja Bihari Prabhu, Kunja Bihari Vidyabhushan, Sri Siddhanta Saraswati, that is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati in the center in the first photo, and Paramananda Vidyaratna. And the second photo is Ananta Vasudev. So these are the prominent disciples of his. And we saw the 5 people who joined him the first time when he started the movement. Okay. So there was this another 5 more minutes. So there was this person. Um, okay, before that, 5 devotees joined him, and then in May he initiated 2 new disciples near Khulna. and he established a Bhakti Vinod Asan. Now, Bhakti Vinod Asan is later on Bhakti Vinod Asan here, Bhakti Vinod Asan there. Finally, it was set where we will see how which was the main Bhakti Vinod Asan. So wherever he opened like a center for Vaishnava gathering, like we say Namahatta. So at that time he called it as Bhakti Vinod Asan. So he would initiate disciples. Now he initiated some two disciples near Khulna, asked them to open a center. The Vaishnava gathering, everybody can come, they can talk about Krishna and do Sankirtan, like that. So started. Preaching has started now, unfolding. Now how it will take a very fast, fast track. It will go on a fast track soon. So now there was one person called Pandit Ram Gopal Vidyabhushan. So this Pandit Ram Gopal Vidyabhushan, he wanted to um become his disciple, but he came here to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and he was dressed very fashionably, and he always was chewing tobacco. So what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told him, you, you, you offer this best of tobacco to Krishna. Go to the far off field and go there and offer the best of tobacco to Krishna. Why? Because Krishna is the only enjoyer. But if we try to enjoy it ourselves, it will gradually reduce our sensory, all our sensory power will be reduced, potency will be reduced. Our humanness, we are human, right? Our humanness will be gone. He told him like that. And then it's not that we have to offer tobacco to Krishna. It's not that. It's the thing that we should not have this enjoying mentality, this tendency to enjoy. So this everything should be used for Krishna's enjoyment. So this it pierced this Ram Gopal's heart, and immediately gave up his lifelong habit of chewing tobacco and lifelong habit of dressing opulently. So he gave up everything, became like a Babaji like that. Gave up everything immediately. But the way Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said this. So in June, so this was in March. So in June, uh, he performed Harikatha and Nam Kirtan all over Mayapur. So the all over Mayapur is 23 disciples at that time. June already. See, so fast. 23 disciples he had, and he led his disciples all Nam Kirtan all over Mayapur, and then on a preaching tour to Orissa. They went to Orissa on a preaching tour, and then they attended the Rath Yatra. Yes. So attended Rath Yatra. Then, while returning to Calcutta, after he returned back, he came to Calcutta. In Calcutta, there was one fellow is an antagonist. He was trying to debate with him, and he came prepared with 29 questions. What are these questions? These questions were regarding the relationship between Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what is his relationship with Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and what is their relationship with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he was telling them who was whose guru and how this happened and how you can claim a parampara like this. So he was furiously routed by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Completely destroyed. All his 29 questions fell off. So then he established, now this is the Bhakti Vinoda Asan. Now Bhakti Vinoda Asan means, like we say, no, um, we call it what? Namhatta, like that. But now it became like a mission. So this Bhakti Vinoda Asan, this was the most prominent Bhakti Vinoda Asan was at Ulta Danga Junction Road in Calcutta. So at that time, it was, you can see here in the picture, that was the Ulta Danga Junction Road. Right now, it is under ISKCON. ISKCON has nicely done a very refurbished it very nicely, made it into a very beautiful place. At that time, this was the place, Ultadanga Junction Road in Calcutta, and the rent was at that time 50 rupees a month. So don't think it was so cheap, 50 rupees. At that time, Srila Prabhupada was saying that for 1 rupee you will get 1 kilo of ghee. So how much it is now? 300, 400 times more. So like that. And his disciples were occupying the second floor, and it was, I think, a three story, and one of them, of the beginning, the ground floor was like a big hall, and for preaching purposes people would come. Second floor was for the grahastas, and one of the grahastas, he committed that he will pay half of the rent, that is 25 rupees. And the final on the top, he Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he had his library and his place of stay, that he would stay there, and his library was with him. Then he told his disciples, you just preach and money will come, you just depend on Krishna. So this was always his mission statement, like that: you preach, depend on Krishna, money will come, don't have to worry. So then, prestigious newspapers at those times, they carried his lectures and articles, and they were really very much in awe about how wonderfully he writes. And then there were 6 books which were published amidst this vigorous preaching activities. And so after this preaching activities and these books were published, small books were published, so many people, many more people joined to become devotees. And how he defeated this Priyanath Nandi, we will speak in the next session, because it's getting very late and we got so much more to say. So I will like to stop here. Thank you all very much for joining me in this session today to glorify His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, on His Divine Disappearance Day. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you're muted.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for bringing out all the things so nicely. In the fresh schedule, I have given you 2 more sessions. After this, you can complete them.
Thank you,
And
Prabhu. I hope I'm not boring everyone.
not at all. Actually, these are never ending. We will keep on discussing about this like this. Like after you have finished in those 2 sessions, I am trying to start Srinivas Thakur, rather Srinivas Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, and Shyamananda Prabhu, where things what happened in Vrindavan and Bengal. And later on, if we get time, I'll tell these stories from Bhakti Ratnakara, which also tells about these personalities in Odisha, their preaching activities in Odisha and all that, those things. So these are very interesting. And what Mataji was talking about, that book, Vaishnava and Brahmana, if you catch hold of that, please read that. I have got that book, I have read that. That is very nicely explained by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, giving the various references from the scriptures, how a Vaishnava is superior, and Vaishnava's birth lineage has no meaning. Rather, it is given in the Shastras that if you connect a Vaishnava with his birth, with his lineage, then one goes to the hell. And if you go to Jagannath Puri, then you should also visit Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's birthplace. You go on the main road, that is the Badadanda, what is referred to in Jagannath Puri. There is the guest house of the Mandir only, Jagannath temple, which we go and stay there. It is just about 50-75 meters from there onto the right side. It is pink color. You should visit that. And one thing very striking about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his books, that it is in such good English that you really have to find the meaning of those words which are used there, and they are totally authentic, and it cannot be compared with anybody else's writings. Like if you read Bhakti Vinod Thakur's writings, they are of a different kind. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's writing, they are a class apart. That is, I haven't read or come across anybody who writes like him. Such a great authority on English language. He was born and brought up in Jagannath Puri and all those things which Mataji has told. And if somebody goes to Jagannath Puri, please try to see these places. And very nicely explained by Mataji, and we are looking forward to the next two sessions in which she will be concluding the other things. Like this, I'll request all the other devotees, please go through the life histories of these devotees and share with us, because it is not possible for any one of us to go through all of them and explain. It is a combined effort. It will help all of us, and we'll be very happy. And now this session is open to question and answers or comments. The devotees are most welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Mataji, so nice class. Even yesterday also so nice, Mother gave so chronological, date and days. She tried to squeeze in and explain. So, Mother, I think you mentioned yesterday. So, what was the, we don't talk about caste of, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati or Bhakti Vinod, but they were Brahmanas or not Brahmanas?
They were Kayastha Brahmanas. Brahma Kayastha.
So,
They are called.
In a Brahmana, there's a category called Kayastha, and they were
Yes. Yes.
I
Brahma
remember you
Kayastha.
mentioned. So Kayastha, I remember in Maharashtra, Kayastha means those are farming communities,
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
This is what is there in Maharashtra.
yeah.
I don't
Maharashtra is farming community. Here they are scribes. Scribe means like Karkuni, like Kalark and all that.
Got it.
So that is their profession. By profession, that is their.
So, no question, Mother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
So
Pranam,
wonderful
Mataji.
class, Mataji. So relishing. So wonderful pastime, really. Bhakti
Thank you.
Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. ho.
Actually,
Thank you,
I'm
Mataji.
nothing. I have not done. I have not done
Yes,
justice.
Mataji.
But how much the 20 years of research has been done by His Holiness Bhaktivikas Swami, and he is the one who has written this book, which I shared yesterday. So it's all from there. I'm just trying to share with you all some things which I liked from that book. But there's so much more, so much more. Right? These even the four classes, if I will get to speak, I will be only covering maybe 1/4 of the one volume of what Maharaj has written. There is 3 volumes like that. So you can imagine how much more is there.
Mataji, one point, मतलब one question जैसा है माताजी. कि मतलब भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर जी ने भी इतनी तपस्या की, ऑस्टेरिटी की, इतने दिनों तक इतना ही खाया नहीं खाया, कितना बहुत ही तपस्या की। मगर मतलब जो हम बोलते हैं फल्गु वैराग्य और युक्त वैराग्य, तो हमें पहले वैराग्य को देखना चाहिए, हमें पहले सबको छोड़ना के सीखना चाहिए कि कैसे छोड़ सकते हैं, फिर हम युक्त वैराग्य में आ सकते हैं। वो बराबर है माता जी कि पहले हमें फल्गु वैराग्य को नहीं लेना चाहिए, पहले मतलब हमें पहला वैराग्य को सीखना चाहिए, बाद में ही हम युक्त वैराग्य कर सकते हैं। वरना हम लोग ये नाम पे हम सब सब युक्त वैराग्य करो, युक्त वैराग्य करो, तो हम वो प्रेटेक्स्ट में हम सब सब उल्टा काम करने लगते हैं। ऐसा भी हो सकता है माता जी।
हाँ वही ना, that Vaishnava Manjusha was going to talk about all these things, because sometimes we will take it in a different way. We'll say Yukta Vairagya, but I try to enjoy our senses, thinking that it is Yukta Vairagya. But what is the austerity? Srila Prabhupada used to say that austerity is the wealth of the Brahmanas or Vaishnavas. So Vaishnavas, if we do austerity, that is our wealth. So austerities is on one time, austerities is required to control the mind, to control the senses. If you don't do austerities and you just say Yukta Vairagya, you are making use of that term Yukta Vairagya, and you are not actually. You have to do austerities. Certain austerities are recommended, and those austerities only you have to follow. Not any money, whatever you want. Something comes to my mind, I will do this austerity. It's not like that. We have to go according to the Shastras and do austerities. Okay, Mataji?
ओके माता जी, थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you.
धन्यवाद, प्रणाम माता जी।
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So nice presentation.
Thank you,
It
Mataji.
touched my
Thank you.
heart. I'm very lucky to listen all these things. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Dipti Mataji.
One thing is coming into my mind,
Yes,
Mataji. If Vaishnavas are superior to Brahmanas, as established by Saraswati, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakurji, then why in second initiation Brahman Diksha is given in Vaishnava Parampara?
Okay. Okay. I will also answer, and maybe Sharad Prabhu also can throw some light on this. Brahmana, Vaishnava is greater than Brahmana is in the sense, when you are a Vaishnava, you are already a Brahmana. That's the meaning of it.
Yes,
Srila
Mataji.
Prabhupada used to say that if you are a Vaishnava, it means you're already a Brahmana. Like, for example, if you are a MSc, you're already a BSc. There's no need to say you're a BSc and an MSc like that. So if
Yes,
you are a
Mataji.
Vaishnava,
Why then in second initiation, again Brahman Diksha is given?
okay, Brahman Diksha is something which is given for deity worship in the temples. So deity worship has certain rules and regulations which have to be followed. So for that reason, Brahman Diksha is given.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sharad Prabhu can say something more.
Yes, that is very nicely brought out. The Vaishnava is a Brahmana, but Brahmana is not a Vaishnava. And why a Vaishnava is superior, that also we should know. You should actually read that book. And what actually has happened in our society, there are so-called Brahmanas who do all sorts of mischievous things, but they still claim they are the leaders of the society. That cannot happen. But the Vaishnavas, they do not do like this. They follow all the rules and regulations, and then they call themselves as Vaishnavas. And what is the basic difference between a Vaishnava and a Brahmana? The Vaishnava, he does Nama Sankirtana. He takes the name of the Lord, that is chanting. That is the basic thing. Other following the four religious, four regulative principles and other things, they are also there. And so this is very, very important. Then regarding this Brahmana Diksha and all that, this is there in ISKCON, but there are very many Vaishnava Sampradayas in which there is only one initiation. but it has started in the ISKCON because of different reasons. Because as you know, when Srila Prabhupada he started the thing from the West, and those people, they were the beginners. They had no previous knowledge. That's why one had to come to some level. Then after that is tested and testified, then one goes to the next level. Because here in the Brahmana initiation, you are given various mantras, and there are certain other rituals you have to practice, which are a little difficult for the common people to do. That's why it is there. And it is taken for granted that the Brahmana has to be respected. Now, the one thing you may say, that Brahmana, he is not following the rules and regulations. Why should we respect him? Now the regions are like this. A Brahmana has to be respected, given his dues, because it is given in the Shastra. And if he is not following the rules and regulations, that is his fault. But if we do not respect him as per Shastra, then we are at fault. That's why a Brahmana also has to be given his dues, the respect he is supposed to get. And Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas, as you know, they are the topmost. And there is no doubt about that, because they do different things. And nowadays in the society, how we differentiate between the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas? Brahmanas, basically, they do the karma kanda activities. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, we know what are the qualities of a Brahmana. All the things are there. If we go into detail, then you will not find even a single Brahmana who has got any of these qualities. So that's why one may be saying himself to be a Brahmana, but if he is not following the rules and regulations of the Shastras, if he does not have the Brahmana-like qualities, then how can we call him a Brahmana? But a Vaishnava, he is supposed to have all these qualities. Then the next question somebody may ask or claim that I am a Vaishnava, that means do I have all the qualities? For that, I can say that if you look into yourself, we are also not proper Vaishnavas. We are trying to become Vaishnavas. We are trying to cultivate the Vaishnava-like qualities. If somebody says he is a Vaishnava, he is a pure devotee, he is doing everything, then there is something wrong with him. Because even I have heard, even in the present day, very exalted personalities, they do not claim themselves to be the Vaishnavas, because when you look into it, you are not following so many things given in the Shastras. That means we should always be a follower. We should always be following our previous acharyas, our senior Vaishnavas, and try to cultivate these qualities and become a Vaishnava. That's all. We should never at any point of time think that we have already achieved that stage and there is nothing more to achieve. So these things we should remember. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for the excellent class. Very nicely brought out sequentially all the things which happened in the lifetime of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and also on this auspicious day. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks from my side also. Very, very wonderful and very nicely ordered class. I had the opportunity to visit Ultadanga, and like you said, it is very, very beautifully made. Very like the ISKCON has reconstructed very nicely, and they have put like how also like Srila Prabhupada made there, and also there's a printing press, I think, which you mentioned the
Bhagavad Yantra?
Brahat Mridanga, the printing press.
Brihad Mridanga press, yes.
Yeah. So that's also very wonderful, but so nice, so inspiring. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving your time to me next week.
No problem. No, that's our pleasure. So as Sanat Prabhu said, we'll do more. So and I like that idea. Let's go slow and take deep, immersive thoughts in each and every session we put. So,
I am so blessed that I could speak on His divine grace on His disappearance day. Thank you all very much for this opportunity.
Mataji, if I can request, because I have never heard or read about his disappearance. I know we are like very close on time, and you will cover in next. But if in 1 minute or two, can you like highlight like where his disappearance happened and what should be our
We
thought
are
for
going to
today?
next week learn about how this magnanimous temple, Gaudiya Mutt, called Bagh Bazaar, was built in Calcutta.
Okay,
So, and he was residing there, and that is where he left in Kolkata,
okay,
in Bagh Bazaar.
right.
And then he
Sure,
was
Mataji.
brought to Mayapur. This very same evening, he was brought to Mayapur. He left in the morning, 5:30. In the morning, 5:30. 1st of January, actually, in that time was 1st of January, 1937. He left in the morning, 5:30, and by the time they reached Kolkata uh, station, that's Shialda station in Kolkata, then from there they took a train. They came to uh, they came to the Krishnanagar. From Krishnanagar, he was brought to Swarupganj on on the top of the bus. Then because he was carried along with the bedstead where he was lying down,
Mm,
he was carried along with the bedstead. So the bed was placed on the rooftop of a bus, and from Krishnanagar to Swarupganj, he was brought there, and then from Swarupganj he was brought in the boat to Mayapur, and from Mayapur they carried him all the way to his place where his samadhi is going to be, Rajapatana, which is Mashirwadi. There is the temple of Gandharvika Giridhari, Radha Krishna Gandharvika Giridhari and Mahaprabhu, and here he was staying, Bhakti Vijay Bhavan. That is the place where he was staying, which is inside the compound only, inside the campus of Sri Chaitanya Mutt. So here is the
mm,
temple of Radha Krishna, that is Gandharvika Giridhari and Mahaprabhu, and here is
mm,
his place of stay when he was in Mayapur, that is
mm.
Bhakti Vijay Bhavan, and in between the two, exactly in the center, was his samadhi. Samadhi was made for him there. And now you go to Mayapur also, you will see like that. You will see Bhakti Vijay Bhavan on one side, you will see the temple on one side, and in the center is his samadhi.
Mm. So his disappearance day is 1st January, not 31st December, is it?
No, no. So coincidingly, it came this time like this. But this is tithi wise, no, Prabhu. So it changes
Okay.
every year.
Every week.
According to English calendar, it will change.
Okay, got it. Great. Thank you, sir.
So I think we can
Thank
end
you,
this.
Mataji. Wonderful. Dandat pranam.
Thank you.
Amazing
Dandavat
session.
pranam, Mataji.
Really
Harsha Mataji.
enjoyed. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Can do the Nashima prayers now, Prabhu?
Yes.
Yes. Anybody would like to do Nashima prayers?
Mataji, you only, please.
Okay. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahladaladadaine. Prahladaladadaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः शिलाटङ्कानखालये इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा इतो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा बहे नरसिंहा हृदये नरसिंहा बहे नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये नरसिंहमदीं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव करकमलवरे नखामद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद. So I would like to also chant the Pranam mantra of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur before we close. Anybody would like to chant? It's quite long.
Mataji, may I?
हाँ, please.
Yes, sir. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय. सॉरी, उनका ही बोलना है ना माताजी? भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर का ही बोलू ना माताजी? ये भक्ति सीता प्रभुपाद का भी बोलू?
दोनों ही चलेगा माताजी, दोनों ही बोल सकते हैं.
यस यस. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती इति नामिने श्री भानवी देवी दयिताय कृपावते कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमार्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणाश्री विग्रहाय नमस्ते नमस्ते गौराणी श्री मूर्तिदान श्री मूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत ध्वांत हारिणे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय हो. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय हो. हरे कृष्ण. थैंक यू.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. On his disappearance day, after everything samadhi was concluded, this is how they concluded, by everybody chanting the pranam mantra of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much for the nice session.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you,
Very
Mataji. Hare
wonderful.
Krishna.